First, can you give me an example of where you led against your party's interest? Oh, this is hard. And really, maybe against your own best interest for the good of America.
You know, by a strange coincidence, I was not elected Miss Congeniality again in the United States Senate this year. I don't know why.
So give me a good example of something that was 10 years ago, you said, that's the way I feel about it, and now, 10 years later, it's different. That's not flip-flopping, it's just sometimes growing in wisdom.
Offshore drilling, we got to drill now, and we got to drill here, and we got to become independent and far and away. Can I tell you another story real quick?
Sure.
The Vietnamese kept us in prison in conditions of solitary confinement or 2 or 3 to a cell. They did that because they knew they could break down our resistance. One of the techniques that they used to get information was to take ropes and tie them around your biceps, pull your biceps behind you, loop the rope around your head, pull your head down between your knees, and leave you in that position. You can imagine it's very uncomfortable. One night I was being punished in that fashion. All of a sudden, the door of the cell opened and a guard came in, a guy who was just what we called a gun guard. He just walked around the camp with a gun on his shoulder. He went like this, and then he loosened the ropes. He came back about 4 hours later. He tightened them up again and left. The following Christmas, because it was Christmas Day, we were allowed to stand outside of our cell for a few minutes. In those days, we were not allowed to see or communicate with each other, although we certainly did. And I was standing outside for my few minutes outside of my cell. He came walking up. He stood there for a minute, and with his sandal on the dirt in the courtyard, he drew a cross. And he stood there, and a minute later, he rubbed it out and walked away. For a minute there was just 2 Christians worshiping together. I'll never forget that moment in time. Shared Christmas.
America ranks 19th in high school graduations, but we're first in incarcerations. Everybody says they want more accountability in schools. About 80% of America says they support merit pay for the best teachers. Now, I don't want to hear your stump speech on education.
No. Okay. Yes, and find bad and find bad teachers another line of work.
We're going to end this. You're answering so quickly.
You want to play a game of poker? Could I just say that? Choice and competition, homeschooling, charter schools, vouchers, all the choice and competition. I want every American family to have the same choice that Cindy and I made, and Senator Obama and Mrs. Obama made as well. And that was, we wanted to send our children to the school of our choice. And charter schools work, my friends. Homeschooling works. Vouchers in our nation's capital works. We've got thousands of people in Washington, D.C. that are applying for a voucher system. New York City is reforming. I go back to New Orleans. They were, as we know, the tragedy devastated them. They now have over 30 charter schools in the city of New Orleans, and guess what? It's all coming up. It's all coming up. It's a simple principle, but it's going to take dedicated men and women, particularly in the teaching profession, to make it happen. And by the way, I won't go any further, but the point is, it's all based, and it's being proven, that choice and competition for every American family. And it is the civil rights issue of the 21st century, because every citizen's child now has an opportunity to go to school. But what kind of opportunity is if you send them to a failing school? That's why we've got to give everybody the same opportunity and choice.
Define rich Everybody talks about, you know, taxing the rich, but not the poor, the middle class. At what point, give me a number, give me a specific number, where do you move from middle class to rich? Is it 100,000? Is it 50,000? Is it 200? How does anybody know if we don't know what the standards are?
I don't want to take any money from the rich. I want everybody to get rich. I don't believe in class warfare or redistribution of the wealth. So I think if you're just talking about income, how about 5 million? So, no, but seriously, I don't think seriously that the point is that I'm trying to make here, seriously, and I'm sure that comment will be distorted, but the point is that we want to keep people's taxes low and increase revenues. And my friend, it was not taxes that mattered in America in the last several years. It was spending. Spending got completely out of control. We spent money in ways that mortgaged our kids' futures. My friends, we spent $3 million of your money to study the DNA of bears in Montana. Now, I don't know if that was a paternity issue or a criminal issue, but the point is, it was $3 million of your money. It was your money. And you know, we laugh about it, but we cry. And we should cry, because the Congress is supposed to be careful stewards of your tax dollars. So what did they just do in the middle of an energy crisis, when in California we are paying $4 a gallon for gas? Went on vacation for 5 weeks. I guarantee you, 2 things they never miss: a pay raise and a vacation. And we should stop that and call them back and not raise your taxes. And I promise you, this is my last story. 17 years ago, Cindy was in Dhaka, Bangladesh. She went to Mother Teresa's orphanage. The nuns brought her 2 little babies who were not going to live. Cindy came home. I met her at the airplane. She showed me this 5-week-old baby and said, "Meet your new daughter. She's 17, and our life is blessed." And that's what adoption is all about.